Right, and we are back. Indeed, let's go to the paper straight away and check out what's trending on the front pages, so to speak. Looking at Saturday Punch now. And of course, many Nigerians should be able to relate with this lead story talking about the undersea cable cut. But to explain it further, it says banks scale down operations as engineers battle to restore services. It's been a Herculean task making random calls these past days, transfers, bank transfers, as well as other, operations, basic operations now. The paper goes on to say telcos have resorted to backup channels, banks advise customers on alternative platforms, cable firms deploy engineers to cut points, ATCON encourages investment in local data centers. In other stories on the front page of the Saturday Punch, people mock me for selling akara. An Abuja male resident there is saying, interestingly, the picture also shows him wearing an apron, and under that he is wearing a tie. He's wearing a tie, absolutely. So very interesting there. How poor maintenance, unsafe practices send electricity consumers to early graves. That's also on the front page of the Punch. And, as the burial of the Olubado of Ibadan has now been conducted, well, while there is mourning in one household, there is said to be celebration, jubilation in another residence, this time around the Olakuleyins, who are said to be the Olubado in waiting. Okay, that's it for Saturday Punch. Of course, there are so many other stories that you can look at. Daily Trust says Niger Republic, I should say, prevents entry on Katsina Jigawa Borders 72 hours after. Laws governing imports, exports subsist, says customs. Communities upbeat, commodities prices may crash. Nigerian celebrities react to worsening economic hardship. What motivated me to return 10 million naira mistakenly credited to my account? This is a hero, a POS operator saying they're returning 10 million naira mistakenly credited to my account. Wow, bravo. And a feature story there, captioned livelihood, children cashing out on local manure in Jigawa State. On bank recapitalization, 17 out of 22 banks might not meet CBN's capital requirement. That's in a report. Also, apparently organ harvesting is still a scare. Just victim of alleged kidney theft is dead. Sad one there. Service disruption, still repair works commence on undersea cable cuts. That's according to the Nigerian Communications Commission. Platform Times is next. Lead story there reads, customs foils smuggling attempt, seizes life-threatening ammunition, harmful substances in Ogun State. Hardship. Former minister and former governor of Lagos State, Fashola, advises Sanwo-Olu to reduce levies and taxes. Inflation rises to 31.70% for February in Nigeria. The Bureau of Statistics says Ogun government initiates food palliative distribution during Ramadan. EFCC unveils multi-billion naira fraud at the Rural Electrification Agency. And on the judiciary, the Judicial Commission, the NJC, condemns non-payment of judges' retirement benefits as well as gratuities. Human angle story on Platform Times reads, man arrested for impersonating woman in Kano Varsity Female Hostel. All right, I think that's it from my end. Emmanuel.
We move on now to the Guardian newspaper. And the big story here says, export fault calls for price control board as inflation hits 37.92%. And I think there's disparity in figure. Yeah, we have, you read about 31, but this report is saying 37.92%. All right, more stories on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Collaboration, diversity, inclusion resonates at Guardian Women Festival, page 3 there of the Guardian newspaper. This morning, Tinubu Sanwo-Olu Ayedatiwa orders pay tribute as 42nd Olubadan joins ancestors also on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Kidnapping, sack non-performing security chiefs now. APC chairman advised Tinubu. Funds are not missing. Kogi government tells EFCC over trial of former governor this morning, the Guardian newspaper this morning. All right, let's move on to the masthead. One Nigerians should uphold personal environmental hygiene as antidotes for ravaging loss of fever. That's a big story there on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. We quickly move on to Saturday Telegraph, and the big story here says, insecurity. We must track terrorism financing, block loopholes. CDS, they are talking harps on use of sensors, CCTV to contain corruption, terrorism, others. Excuse of difficult terrain suspicious, not acceptable. This is coming from ACF chieftain. And inflation rose to 31.7% in February. That's coming from NBS. And also 27 years after coup, DS CSO Major Fadipe opposed up, and Abacha was under pressure from Bameyi, others to execute Dia. Admits we took part in plots to remove ex-head of state. Reveals why he refused Dia's order to petition Oputa panel. And the big story there on the front page of the Saturday Telegraph this morning. No approval from FEC National Assembly on Eurobonds. Yet, that's coming from DMO. And kidnapping, FJ should consider use of sleeping gas to rescue hostages. Security experts, they are talking. Let's quickly move on now to the masthead of Saturday Telegraph this morning. Tinubu Obasanjo Kalu pay tribute to late Olubadan, and also 3.7 trillion naira pardon. Tinubu should review 2024 budget. That's coming from the PDP. Let's quickly move on now to the Nation newspaper. And the big story on the Nation newspaper this morning says, Tinubu, subsidy beneficiaries, smugglers fighting back. Very interesting story on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. Olakunleyin is Olubadan designate as Balogun goes home. We can't raise 1 billion naira ransom, say parent of abducted Kaduna peoples there. And also internet disruptions to persist for 3 weeks. Wow. So Nigerians are into a showdown at this time. Blames undersea CME's activities for cable cut. And bank transfer teleco services suffer more these locations. Right there, page 2 there of the Nation newspaper. Interesting stories. Do we still have more? All right. Over to you, Kemi, for more stories.
All right, so there we have them, interesting stories, and one of the people-related stories, or the human angle stories that, screamed at me, so to speak, is this issue of internet connectivity challenges that many Nigerians have experienced. It's even having international dimensions, as countries like Ghana and some other countries in the West African region are also said to be affected by this this undersea disruptions that we have experienced of late. Of course, many Nigerians on the street don't want to know what is undersea cut.
Whether it's undersea cut or not, what
don't want to do. And the last paper you took, also said something about us having to endure. Did I hear you right? Yes, us having to endure for a couple more weeks.
Kemi, may we not be in a particular situation where you will need to transfer money to rescue life, and you do that,
and then you are torn, you are caught in this issue, because yes, I like the impact.
A friend of mine told me this morning,
the picture you're painting is scary, but it's very, very scary. It is a reality.
It's a reality that we need to face. Someone said this morning that I will start calling out my bank. I said, it's not the issue of the banks now.
Not a bank.
Whether you like it or not, keep calling them. They've given their excuse that is this under CA court, blah, 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 that's happening. But Nigerians will need, there are other alternatives, and that's what the banks are saying. There are other alternatives that you can also use. Maybe for those who there are some bank networks that is also going, though not as fast as it used to be.
Right.
But let's exercise patience, Nigerians, and things will get better. I keep promising, I keep praying for Nigerians that it's not about the issue of Nigeria alone, and things are not really getting well with this issue of internet. It's cut across everything.
It's tied to so many things, even though there's
from the bank transfers.
So many people who are not, you know, used to this kind of, you know, operations. But yes, it's a major problem right now. We are really hoping for a quick fix.
We hope not to experience 3 weeks of this.
Absolutely. I totally second that.